And so once again we have left another year behind us. We are in 2023. And so I wanted to take some time together with you to have a look at the last year. In January we started to plant our first seeds for the vegetable garden. This month is one of the slow ones on the farm as there's almost no lights in the afternoon and there is much bad weather. We do much routine work like feeding the sheep, collecting eggs, clearing snow, and also we try to cut some firewood. This year I managed to cut some in January. February was a low point for us. We were exhausted from repeated attacks on our body, from corona, common colds and stomach flus, as family with small children often experience. The lack of light and the amount of rain all added up. The last drop was not just one drop, but a major flood. We decided to sell the farm and leave all our trouble behind. In March, the weather had completely changed. The light had returned and our energy levels were back up. We decided to stay. We have a valley on our land that is so wet that we cannot drive there with a tractor. That keeps us from accessing much of our land. I decided to see if I could fix the old trench that I knew had to be there. In the end I found it, but it was bad news. It was completely clogged all the way. In the spring I bought a rear digger for the tractor so I could fix the trench. We did some repairs to this before I mounted it on our old tractor, but this plan backfired as it made the tractor so back heavy that it could not drive on our fields without sinking down. Many people that buy these type of diggers end up investing in an excavator. Now I know why. I also realized that the tractor was too small for this equipment, so I ended up not using it as much as I had planned. During the spring and summer we expanded the vegetable garden and we completed the interior of the large greenhouse. We had learned a lot from the year before, and so the harvest in the end of the fall was larger than ever. We also managed to grow several vegetables that we had failed the year before, like tomatoes, cucumbers and artichokes. One of our yearly struggles has been to gather enough firewood for the winter. This year was not different. We started in April by cutting down a lot of trees. As it was so late, I cut them all down instead of finishing one by one. I had to cut them down before the spring sap soaked into the tree, or they would need much more time to dry. That gave me a lot of extra work. In May, I finally had the time to cut the trees into pieces and clear all the branches. The splitting and stacking did not happen before the end of July, but luckily the firewood was dry when the winter came. We have a two-wheel tractor that I've been using as a mower to cut hay. This year I decided that I wanted to get some more use out of it. I started by changing the shaft seal. That is a job that I started last year but never finished. Then I bought a cart with a seat and brakes so I could use it as a tractor. The plan was to use it to drive into places that was too wet for the big and heavy tractor. It did not go according to plan. The tractor was awful to drive as the cart was for smaller tractors and because of that too short. It ended up with me crashing the tractor as I could not stay clear of the mountain wall. I have not used it since. As we do every year, we made hay for the animals during the summer. The first batch we cut and dried in the beginning of July. The weather was warm and dry, and so we could dry the hay on the ground. The second batch in September. At this time the weather is often wet, and so we need to dry it in an old Norwegian way called hashing. This method uses poles and wire to dry the hay off the ground. It is often challenging to make hay where we live, as it rains a lot. It was the same this year. We just managed to get the first batch in-house before the sky opened up. The second batch did not dry as it should, and so in the end we needed to take it inside and use salt to help us dry out the moisture. Luckily it worked and the hay did not get ruined. We hope in the future to make silage instead. The plan is to use our harvester together with our silo, but it needs some work before we can use it, like a roof. One of our large purchases for the farm this year is a new tractor. It is a 1982 Fiat 480 8DT with a four-wheel drive and a front loader. A major upgrade to our old tractor. It had a closed cab with heating and a slightly bigger engine. The plan was to use the digger on this tractor as it would be more in balance. The first time we tried the tractor, we sank down into our wet fields. We had to dump the load of rocks I was collecting and drive back. So far I have not used this tractor as much as it needs some work and I have not had the time or the place to work on it. A big project we tried to do this year was to make a parking lot for equipment. I started by removing dirt. My plan was to dig until I hit Bear Mountain, but I did not expect it to be as steep as it was. In the end I just had to stop. This is the time when I should have laid down some foundation like fiber mats, but I did not know that at the time, and so when I started to tip in rocks into the hole, they just sank down into the mud. In the end the hole filled up, but I had used so much rocks that I did not have enough. The plan was to continue to dig, but as I do not have any more rocks to tip in, I have put the project on hold. When it came to animals this year, we have got some spring lambs. We have kept the females and so we needed to let our ram go. We also hatched some chickens and we got 2 rabbits that my son named Flamme and Knuse. Translated from Norwegian that means flame and smash. We think that is fitting names for rabbits. Our newest family member is our farm dog Theo. He's a male golden retriever. So last year had many ups and also some downs. That's always the case on a farm. Not everything goes according to plan. The plans for next year, they are big. We are planning on making a tractor road. We are planning on getting a sawmill. And that is also, of course, in addition to all the standard work like making hay, cutting firewood and caring for the animals. And of course, we do have our vegetable garden that we will soon start to plant. So if you want to continue following us, then please do. So a special thanks to everybody that has been following us for the last year. We hope that you will continue to follow us in 2023. So thanks for watching. I will be seeing all of you on the next video.